Okay, we are now joined by the race winners of tonight's Sprint Unlimited here at Daytona International Speedway. We're joined by race-winning crew chief Michael Wheeler, as well as car owner Coach Joe Gibbs. Michael, for you, what can you learn from a night like tonight, going into Speed Weeks next week?
I learned how far we can go on with caution laps on fuel. I was nervous for a while, and we got so many different opportunities to get cautions and save some fuel that it definitely stretched our mileage way farther than I thought we could do. So that was a good learning experience. Everything else is just a good night of racing for us. The car was pretty well balanced, had no real complaints. You could definitely make up some track position if you needed to, and I was pretty happy with the outcome.
And Coach, for you, you guys have shown speed all weekend, whether it's been practice here for the Sprint Unlimited or qualifying for tomorrow's Daytona 500 qualifying. Kind of talk about the momentum that you've carried from last year into this year, and is this a sign of things to come in 2016?
Well, you never know that. I do feel like, I talked to Denny last night, and he felt like the car was good. So he felt real good from that standpoint. I really congratulate Wheels, his first go for us, and to win a race like that. Made a great call in there. So it's the first time having Mike and Denny together, and hopefully that's going to wind up being a great combination for us. And I was joking with Denny in the winner's circle. I said, it's the 500, okay, not the shootout. I says, try and get us a 500, will you? We've been 23 years since we were able to win one. So, but it is a thrill to be here. We love it. It's great seeing the excitement, everybody getting started racing again. Love our fan base here. And so we really appreciate everybody that lets us do this.
And we are now also joined by the race winner of tonight's Sprint Unlimited, Denny Hamlin, driver of the number 11 FedEx Express Toyota. This is Denny Hamlin's third Sprint Unlimited victory. He becomes the fifth driver.
Oh, I was black flag.
He becomes the fifth driver in series history to win 3 or more Sprint Unlimited races, joining Dale Earnhardt, Tony Stewart, Dale Jarrett, and Kevin Harvick. Denny, what is it about this race that suits you?
Obviously, it's short enough for my attention span. That's all I can think of is, obviously, by the way, has Joe mentioned he wants to win a 500 yet? Okay.
I started off with that.
Yeah. I mean, it's, I don't know what it is. I think, I've gotten better at Speedway racing over the last few years, and really learned a lot from my teammates. But, I mean, realistically, you can go back and look at this race a million times, and had my teammates not stuck with me at the right times, we wouldn't have been able to stay up front. So, similar in, Kyle's championship last year, we all felt like it was a team championship, and we all played our part in it. I think tonight was no different. Without my teammates, I wouldn't be up here, and it's just a great team win from my standpoint. And, what it is about this race that we've had success at, I don't know. But the last time, we did win this, we had a great Speed Weeks in 2014 and finished second in the 500. So looking forward to it. Obviously, our cars are very, very fast. And if you put them in the right situations, you obviously saw tonight what they can do.
Okay, we'll now take a couple questions. We'll start here with Kelly, and then we'll go to Jordan, and then Bob.
Kelly Crandall from PopularSpeed.com. For Denny and Coach, you both started it right off the bat about the Daytona 500. Not only, Coach, do you want to get back to victory lane in the Daytona 500, but how much pressure is mounting internally for you guys in terms of getting Toyota their first Daytona 500 win, because you guys have been so fast down here the last couple of years?
Well, certainly that would be a big deal for us. Last year, to be able to get the championship was big for Toyota, first in a lot of ways. I appreciate Denny saying that about teamwork last year. And when you see our guys in the competition meetings, how they share the drivers, I think it really is unselfish. I really appreciate them. And certainly here, it's just, I got to tell you, the 500 is just hard to win. I mean, that's where we come at it. It is, so many things can happen. You can have real good cars, and we felt like we have had those, but it's a tough race to win. I'd love to to get another one?
Yeah, for me, it's the same thing for me. I mean, we have come so close, and really over the last few years, we got a bunch of top fives in the 500, and I think it's just really, for the first probably 6 years of my career, the way I drove Speedway races, I probably never gave us a shot to win a 500. But it's just over the last few years, we've really been in contention a lot, and it's just you keep knocking on the door. It's going to happen. I mean, you can only you be so close to the front so many times and not cross the checkered first. And obviously, with Toyota's commitment to this Speedway, with that Toyota injector right out front, I mean, this is a big race for them, and we obviously want to get them one of those trophies, Daytona 500 trophies, as soon as possible.
Let's go Jordan, Bob, and then Jenna.
Jordan Bianchi, SBNation.com. This is for Denny. Danny, you were leading tonight, and you were able to kind of dictate what would happen behind you. Somebody get a run, you'd be able to kind of cut them off and stump their momentum. Is that because you had the better car or superior engine, or was it because you're leading and that's the better position?
Well, it's the best position to be in, but there's sometimes, I mean, there was a lot of times where I just couldn't hold off the cars that were coming. They came with a run that was so significant that I just had to pick, okay, I'm going to end up being side by side, so figure out whether I wanted to be on the top or the bottom. And a lot of that is a split-second decision based off of who's behind them. So I knew that whoever was pushing them was going to stay with them. And so I had to look at fourth place when those cars were coming to see whether I wanted to be behind that person or the person that was third. And so I always made sure I did damage control when guys did get up beside me, and made sure that I put myself in the lane that I felt the most comfortable the person behind me was going to give me the shove. And a lot of it was Matt most times, and then Carl at the very end as well.
Let's go with Bob.
Bob Pockris, ESPN. Two for Denny. First off, can you give us an update on your knee? Last time we talked to you about a month ago, you said it was only 50%. And then Dale Jr., who won one of the duels last year with the new crew chief, said this will really give you and Wheels a lot of confidence and put you in a good mood. Just how big is it to win with a new crew chief, even if it's an exhibition?
Yeah, I mean, it's big. When I won here a couple of years ago, it was with a new crew chief as well, and obviously it always gives you a little bit of momentum. It always seems to help when that happens, or maybe it was a new crew chief. No.
14 wasn't.
No, so it wasn't. But I mean, we got a week to sit on it. That makes you feel good. And obviously, we knew during practice yesterday. I told Wheels that this car was very, very good, and I just wasn't feeling it at the beginning of the race. The cars in front of me were bouncing off of each other, and me and him talked about a strategy that could possibly play out. And luckily, it played out. A caution came out, and it got us the track position. But we lost the lead a few times, went back to, I think, third, maybe fourth at one point, and was able to battle back. But I think this is big for me and him. It's not like it's an unknown, and I need to get to know Wheels. We've been together for so long. I really just, we lent him to the Xfinity shop for a year. That's about all that happened. Knee's good. I mean, it's I'm about 75%. I'm not anywhere close to doing anything sports related for a while still. So either way, in the car, I'm good. And obviously, anytime we have any kind of surgeries or anything, usually we win the next race. So it's just continuing that trend.
We'll go over here to Jenna.
Jenna Fryer, AP. Wheels, we didn't get to see you at the media tour, and Denny said that day how you're going to be his last crew chief. I'm wondering, I know you guys worked together for years and years and years. I'm wondering why you two are so certain that this relationship is going to be forever and ever and ever.
Yeah, sorry I missed the media tour. I was out of the country on vacation with my wife to keep that relationship happy. I was pleasantly surprised when I saw those comments made. Did it surprise me? No. It's very cool. But we've grown up together. We've been through some battles together. We've had long talks and had a lot of good times together. And I think one thing we could say is all the time we just keep working together. And that's something that you just can't make. It either happens or it doesn't happen. And I've known for years that we just clicked and we can talk, and I can pass ideas by him, and whether it sticks or not, he'd always listen, and he gave me the same kind of feedback. So, he's been through crew chief changes. They're hard. They're hard with teams. They're hard for people. But I think in the long run, I know we can work together for the long haul and be successful.
We'll come over here to Nate and then up front to Stan.
Nate Ryan, NBC Sports. Denny, Dale Jr. also tweeted that he said that you were a hell of a plate racer. I know that there was probably a time at this track where it might not have always felt like you were regarded that way. Do you feel now as if you can win it here, Talladega, whatever, at any time? And do you have that comfort level from other guys in the draft?
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, I feel as confident. I always used to say the cliche that probably 80% of the drivers will say is that Daytona and Talladega is a crapshoot. I mean, but if it's a crapshoot, Dale Jr. is the luckiest guy in Vegas. I mean, because he finds a way to stay up front and win these races on a consistent basis, and I feel like I'm working my way to being able to say that as well. So I think I learned a lot about 4 or 5 years ago, and ever since then, I've just had a lot of success on these racetracks, and I think I've gotten better at learning and paying attention to smaller details at these racetracks that matter in the long run. And so that's probably where it turned for me, is around that 2010, 12, whatever year that you can see our Speedway results have been really, really good. So. And through all of that, I've had really good teammates that win a lot as well on these types of racetracks, and you just watch them, and you put all those pieces together, and hopefully you make yourself better.
We'll come up front here to Stan.
Yeah, Denny, Stan Creekmore with RPMTonight.com. Talk, if you will, about that final restart. Did you hold your breath halfway through the track, or did you feel very confident?
Well, it's so interesting with that line that comes out that, first of all, I wanted to get to that line, so I knew that it was the only time we were going to try this, because we probably weren't going to make it on field to do another one, and I remember going on the back stretch, and I'm ahead, and we get to the line, and I'm like, all right, we're good. The 22 goes by me, I'm like, caution, don't come out. And then I get back ahead of him, and I'm like, okay, come out. And then he goes back by me, and I say, no, don't come out. So it's just, you're going through all those emotions at the same time. And, him and Brad do such a good job of getting, big runs on these plate tracks. And it was a tough decision to start on the bottom. I mean, we had started on the bottom all night long, but I knew my teammate was starting fourth. And I knew he had pushed me really, really well on a few restarts. And I knew, if he pushed like that to the 22, we were going to be in trouble because the 22 always seems to get good restarts. But I just believed that the bottom was the place to be. Usually the top gets jumbled up from guys wanting to go 3 wide, and so I always figured that the bottom is the consistent lane that I know there's an out of bounds this way, and I've got protection on the inside. So I felt like that was the right decision, but Matt almost got him by me, but I was able to hang on to him just enough to clear him. So tough decision, but like I said, Matt, we should saw this trophy in half and give the other half to the 20 car.
Do we have any additional questions for our race winners? Back up here to Bob.
Bob Puckers, ESPN. Joe, since this is the first time we've seen you, you guys announced today that you got the charter for the 19. How was that process, and did you have to pawn one of your Super Bowl rings or anything to get it done? Was it painful as far as the wallet's concerned?
Yeah, that's a good point. And we put that thing, hocked it. Actually, I think that was a long process. I appreciate everybody that worked so hard on it. We had Dave Alpern and our shop just worked kind of nonstop, and Rob and Steve Uremark and the people that worked so hard on that, and then on NASCAR's side too. And I would say this, it was really kind of a team effort. It really was. NASCAR was after it. Brent Dewar just did a great job, Brian. So it was, I think, one of the best things I've seen in NASCAR, doing something big and doing something together. And I think really what happened at the end, the 41 and 19, we had to sacrifice some to get this done. And we felt like it's something that we needed to do. Didn't particularly like it, but I felt like it's something for the total team effort we needed to do. And thankfully, we got it done.
And we'll take our final question up front here from Jerry Jordan.
Danny, since I brought up the Super Bowl, does the win tonight make up for the loss last week of the Panthers for you?
I'm smart. There's a hedge in there somewhere, so I was okay.
And we actually do have one final question up in the press box.
Yes, it's Don Coble from Morris News Service. For Mike, were you counting with the nature of this race on when it's turned into a fuel mileage? Were you banking on there being a lot of cautions to be able to stretch your miles?
Yeah, a little bit. We knew it was an all-star race, so you always know there's no holds bar, and things will happen. I know we needed a lot of cautions for our strategy to work out. It kind of got behind early, and with the damage, it kind of opened up a little bit of a playbook to try something different. And the way from lap 20 on worked out for us was kind of amazing. Yes, every caution that came out, we were counting every lap, and doing some math on that. At the same point, we went from running in the back to running up front, so our mileage is always changing. One thing I made sure Denny was always aware of that, so he could do the best he can to save us the fuel. But we went a lot farther than I thought we could have, but at the same point, it's a good learning experience.
Okay, Michael, Denny, Coach, congratulations. Good luck tomorrow and the rest of next week.